Here I am in central Shanghai. To be more specific, I am at the Bund, on the west side of the Huangpu River, the Puxi side. And the thing that the Bund is most famous for is the many European-style buildings here. Quite different to what one might expect in China. The signs here say this is the Gutzlaff signal tower, which I'm guessing must have been a signal for the boats on the river, and which is protected, a protected landmark, according to the Shanghai government. Let's have a closer look at it by going a little further out, and we'll look at some of the other buildings across the way, like this big building here, which is an office for ICBC. That stands for Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. It's the largest bank in China by assets, and also the first one I ever had an account with here in China. I've closed the account since then. And here it is, the signal tower. Yeah, it looks like a lighthouse. So I'm guessing it's for the boats on the river, or it was for the boats on the river. Over there, just across the Huangpu River, is Lujiazui and its modern sleek skyscrapers. But on this side, you've got older architecture. Older European architecture here in Asia. So, what's the story with the Bund? Why is it called the Bund? And why does it have these architectural styles that seem a little odd for China? Well, first of all, Bund is a Hindi word that means an embankment. And since we're near a river, it's pretty accurate. But why is this place like it is? Well, that goes back to Chinese and European history. Let's go back, how far do we gotta go? 270, 80 years about. China was pretty much completely closed to the outside world, with a few exceptions. For example, at Canton, or we call it Guangzhou now, there was trading under specific circumstances allowed by the Qing government. And there was trading in Macau, which had been a Portuguese outpost for quite some time. Pretty cool architecture here. The British Empire, with their love for trade, was not so happy with the Qing government being so closed to trade. They wanted more, especially because they wanted all the great stuff China had. The porcelain, or China as we would come to call it. The silks, the tea, all the good stuff China had. And China, by contrast, was not so interested in the stuff the British had on offer. So, the British did what people for years have been doing. When in doubt, resort to drugs. Yeah, you see, they started selling opium to try to deal with the trade imbalance. The Qing government did not like that so much and tried to crack down on it. The British government did not like that so much and started a war. The First Opium War. And Britain won that war, largely on military technology. China will still hold this war against the West, and to be honest, I think they have every justification for not being happy with what happened. But with the British victory, one of the outcomes was China needed to open up some more ports for trading, and one of them was Shanghai. This is also the time that Hong Kong first came to be administered by Britain. But with the opening of Shanghai, they also essentially allowed a portion of it to be inhabited by foreigners, and for foreign law to apply there. These were called concessions, and the Bund here was one of those concessions. Originally a British concession, eventually merged in with an American concession. And that's why Europeans and Americans started building these buildings in a Western style here in China. This was the center of Shanghai's economy for quite some time, all the way up to the 1940s when everything changed due to the Japanese invasion. Then not long after that came the founding of the People's Republic of China, under which there were certainly going to be no foreign concessions, as the People's Republic was far less Western friendly than the previous government, the Republic of China. The Bund and Shanghai in general got a lot less active at the time economically. But after the opening up and reform, starting in 1978, the Shanghai has roared back economically, and this is part of it. This area is. Back then, this place was full of foreign finance, and to an extent, it still is. Look over here. This building is a branch of Bangkok Bank. This one, by contrast, is China Merchants Bank, a domestic bank. And there are quite a few other domestic banks with headquarters here. We already saw ICBC here. I should say not headquarters, but major offices here. Most of the banks are headquartered in Beijing, since many of them are state-owned. This bull here looks a lot like the one in New York, and this guard here has told me it was actually made by the same person. I can't confirm that, but that's what the nice security guard here said. This building houses a bank that's not headquartered in Beijing, Shanghai Pudong Development Bank. This might be their central headquarters, since they are a Shanghai bank. And it's a pretty impressive building, I would say. I'm assuming that red star at the top probably wasn't there back when they first built this building, since I think that's a symbol of the Communist Party. Got a clock tower on this one. The roads here are named for other provinces or cities in China, like Hankou Road. Today, Hankou is actually part of a city. It's part of Wuhan, a city that became most famous since it was where the pandemic originated. But that is a very nice city, regardless of any unfortunate pandemics that may have happened once. Apparently, this one is a custom house. I see the Chinese words, but I think it's Shanghai Haiguan, which means Shanghai Customs. This one feels more, I don't know, Art Deco. A little different from the other buildings in the area. Not as, like, classical. Turns out the building I thought was for China Merchants Bank earlier is actually for their life insurance company, and this building coming up here is actually China Merchants Bank's building. And next to it is a building for AIA, an insurance company. Zhejiang is another place in China. And here it is, the China Merchants Bank building. And AIA. This is the entrance to the Bund Sightseeing Tunnel, possibly the least accurately named thing here at the Bund, because it's a tunnel, so of course there are no sights to see. Instead, you're passing just through a tunnel with a bunch of lights on the side. It also costs like 50 kwai to use, whereas a normal metro ticket would only be about like 3 or 4, so I don't really understand the attraction of it. This place apparently sells Omega watches. And apparently it's a hotel, the Swatch Art Peace Hotel. Not quite sure what a peace hotel is, but I'm for it. I mean, give peace hotels a chance, right? This is a statue of Chen Yi, a general who served in the revolution for the Communist Party. And over there's Lu Jiazui. More bank buildings. These are some of the biggest in China. Biggest banks, I mean, not buildings. Bank of China there, where I have an account. ICBC again here. And over here is Agricultural Bank of China. And here's some more big buildings. And over there is a somewhat lesser known bank, China Everbright Bank. The road going down here in the middle is Beijing Road East, so another one named for an area of China. And right about here you can see the old European buildings of the Bund pretty much end and are replaced with modern buildings, modern skyscrapers. With that, I'm going to head back and continue my sightseeing tour here in the middle of Shanghai by going down an important road in this area. But that's a topic for another video. So if you don't want to miss it, this would be a great time to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you had a good time. Bye!